Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, X. Social media is no longer just part of our daily lives. Today, it shapes how we connect, share, and experience the world. But what happens when a platform abandons a long-standing promise to control hate speech, disinformation, and violence?
And this put them in real danger.
My ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
In early 2025, Facebook owner Meta announced it would end its third-party fact-checking program. Meta's founders said the platform would move to a community notes model, similar to what was already being used by X. Mark Zuckerberg said the shift would start with US users.
And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
Zuckerberg claimed that Meta's new chapter was a step towards greater freedom of speech, but media experts have been skeptical.
Extremely dangerous times ahead. This is not a free speech issue. This is a safety issue. Imagine that every single safety measure, we used to call them guardrails, have just been taken off. That's what's going to happen in the United States.
And though Meta's policies are currently focused on the US, the social media company has global reach. The Asia-Pacific region is a powerhouse for Meta. With over 1.4 billion people active on Facebook each month, the region is home to up to 40% of the platform's global users. Instagram boasts more than 895 million users across the Asia-Pacific. And the region is a leader on WhatsApp business with 748.61 million users. In 2024, the Asia-Pacific provided $45 billion in revenue, more than a quarter of Meta's global earnings. To tackle misinformation, Meta had partnered with many independent fact-checking organizations across Asia. But now the company is changing its policies.
It's definitely not fair that the decisions were made in Silicon Valley with people sitting in the aircon with the white American who decide the face of the platform, right? There is no technology that developed from the global majority. We are using the technology that's coming from one specific place of the world, and that have the decision to control of how we use it.
And Meta's decision will likely have an impact in Asia, where fact-checking and content moderation are essential in the fight against misinformation. Social media platforms are core pillars for communication, information, and connection across Asia. In fact, the Asia-Pacific is home to a staggering 2.5 billion social media users, by far the most in any other region in the world. But social media in the area has also been linked to the spread of misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, and even real-world violence. Take recent events in Myanmar, India, and the Philippines, for example. Myanmar was among the first countries where social media was weaponized to fuel hatred. When internet access reached Myanmar, Facebook quickly dominated online spaces.
So around 2013, the internet cost has dropped, and at that time, Facebook has the campaign that freeinternet.org, which allowed people to have access to Facebook for free without having to use internet. And at that time, when you go to the market and you buy the phone, Facebook app will pre-install with their phone. So people who are not familiar with Google or any other application, they thought if you want to use the internet, you have to go to Facebook. So Facebook became internet for Myanmar.
In 2017, human rights groups reported that a Buddhist monk was using Facebook to spread lies about predominantly Muslim Rohingya people in northwestern Myanmar.
The Rohingya in Myanmar are already oppressed. With the opening of the internet and the availability of Facebook, Facebook has been used as a tool, and the way it was used is that the military has used Facebook as a way to spread disinformation against the Rohingya.
Facebook became a platform for an alarming amount of extremist speech targeting the Rohingya. A United Nations fact-finding mission found Facebook played a, quote, determining role in stirring up hatred against Rohingya people in Myanmar. Human rights group Amnesty International has also described Facebook as a factor in a chain of events leading to ethnic cleansing of the Rohingya. And the Rohingya are far from the only minority group caught up in the crossfire of online hate speech. In India, social media has been linked to harmful biases and deepening negative opinions about minority groups. Watchdog organizations have called out platforms like Facebook for turning a blind eye and allowing hate to thrive unchecked. The consequences? Besides fueling hate crimes and xenophobia, these platforms have earned a reputation for spreading fake news and inciting widespread communal violence across India. In one Facebook Live video shared by a local supporter of India's ruling BJP party, a Hindu priest and extremist, Yati Narsinghanan, called for an end to Islam. This viral video received 32 million views on Facebook.
So we did ask Meta at the time that, can you please remove this content because this goes against your policy. There was no positive response from those communications, to be honest. So much so that we had to actually do a campaign projecting that speech onto the building of International Court of Justice in The Hague. And this basically led to certain news media outlets like Time and Wall Street Journal also picking this up, creating a sort of a peer crisis for Meta, and ultimately that speech was removed.
Narsinghanan's speeches against Muslim minorities have often incited violence. In 2021, his followers attacked a 14-year-old Muslim for drinking water at the Dasna Devi temple in Uttar Pradesh.
During the Dasna temple event, which was a real-world violence against a Muslim boy in the temple, which was under Yati Narsinghanan, we actually found lives of people saying that reached the temple. And we communicated this to the Meta that, can you please remove this? And there was no response from their end on taking proactive action towards these accounts.
But the abuse of social media is not limited to targeting minorities. In the Philippines, digital spaces have evolved into hotspots for political misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech in the country. It's partly because social media has become synonymous with news in the country, where online platforms have become central sources for accessing information.
Given the role of social media in how Filipinos access news and access information and understand the issues, political and social issues, I think that social media, more than ever, plays a real critical role in shaping not only the discussions online, but also the events that happen offline. And because of this shift from online to offline, the opportunities for discussions online to incite violence or harm offline is very high.
Under former President Rodrigo Duterte's administration, the practice of red tagging became alarmingly prevalent. Amnesty International reported that Philippine authorities increasingly turned to Facebook for red tagging. The campaigns targeted young activists and journalists, especially those critical of the military, police, and other government agencies.
And this put them in real danger, not only to criticism online, but real-life danger where they were actually afraid for their lives.
Many people who were red tagged were forced to abandon work as activists or journalists because they feared for their safety. While social media platforms did not directly trigger conflicts, racism, or violence, they were seen as powerful catalysts for existing tensions in Myanmar, India, and the Philippines. The wave of hate speech and targeted violence against minorities spilled over from the digital world. But why was this even possible in the first place? Myanmar, India, and the Philippines are large, diverse places with local languages and nuances that often fly past social media filters. The range of languages and dialects spoken across these regions adds a new layer of complexity to content moderation.
So given that we're already exposed, not only are Filipinos themselves at a disadvantage when it comes to digital literacy skills, but even the number of languages that's spoken really leaves a lot of opportunity for misinformation or unchecked information to sneak through the cracks.
In its early days in Myanmar, Facebook had over 1 million users. Yet the platform only had 2 Burmese content moderators, leaving room for harmful content to spread unchecked. Coupled with algorithms that favor negative content, social media platforms in these countries have become tools to incite violence.
So one of the most critical challenges that I see countries like India face when it comes to disinformation and hate speech on the social media platforms is just the way that the social media platforms operate. So their operational model itself, because these models are built around interactions, they're built around eyeballs, viewing the content, and that means that more igniting the content is, the more interactions it receives.
Many of these cases occurred during a time when social media platforms still valued fact-checking and moderation. But with the industry's alarming shift away from these principles, the digital landscape has become increasingly dangerous. In the process, Meta has even shifted content consumption responsibility directly to its users. Media experts say that leaves a growing number of minority communities vulnerable to unchecked misinformation and targeted hate.
I can't stress enough that there's more to this equation than politics and economics. And I think people, at the end of the day, and communities have to be part of this discussion, and the policies that these platforms come out with when it comes to fact-checking, misinformation, hate speech, and moderation has to respond to the needs of the people that they cater to.
Critics say Meta's decisions are not just about restructuring, cost-cutting, or free speech.
Mark Zuckerberg says it's a free speech issue. That's completely wrong. Only if you're profit-driven can you claim that. Only if you want power and money can you claim that. This is about safety. And Facebook, as the largest social media platform globally, has responsibilities to every one of us on the platform to protect us. And yet, it's almost like when you walk onto that platform, it's like you walking into a building that can fall down on you at any time.